We are live. One, two, three. Hi, guys. This is Colleen. Welcome to the live stream for tonight. And we are going to be talking about what do you value in relationships. We're going to have a nice conversation. And I'm just sitting here in my car. You know, when I make a commitment, I make a commitment. I must first apologize that I didn't get to start at 7. So going forward, I do hope to start at 7, but you know, life, things pop up, and I was unable to start at 7 p.m. today. But I am starting at 8:30. It's 8:27. I'm 3 minutes early. So I am here waiting. Hi, Noella. Thanks for joining. I'm waiting for some other persons to join. Noella, how is your evening? What are you having for dinner? How has your day been? And while others join, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to add the pin in the comment section. So if you want to join me on the live stream audio wise, then you can click on that pin and you will be able to join me. Chicken Noella, that's nice. I haven't had anything as yet. Hi Amanda, welcome your presence. I've gone ahead and added the pin. So it's right there for when you join, you're able to accept that request to join me on audio. So once persons joining a little bit more, then I'm going to start with the discussion, but I'm just gonna do a little roll call. For those of you who missed earlier, I'm in my car today, live streaming from my car. And I do apologize again for not being able to start at 7. However, I'm present, I'm staying with my commitment, and thank you so much for joining me. I love to play a little music for you guys, but you know, radio playing, the copyright kind of thing, but I'm ready. I'm ready. So let us see. Amanda, how is your day? How are you doing? Any rain in Jamaica? What's happening? So when you join, guys, just ensure that you comment in the comment section so that I know that you are here with me. Remember to give the video a like, and when the live stream finishes, you are always free to go back and comment. Persons who watch after will be able to see the connection that we had in the live stream and so on. And yeah, we will be able to. So I'm adding Amanda to the stream right now. Amanda, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Oh, beautiful. Yes, I can definitely hear you. Fabulous. Ah, I remember the first time when I tested this, right? It was taking
Yeah.
some time, but that's fabulous. That's perfect. So I'm just gonna see who else joins in another 2 to 3 minutes. I'll give it until I'd say 8:35, and then we'll start talking. But you and I can chit chat for now until other persons join and comment. But we are gonna be talking about relationships, what we value, and I have a little background story to give to start things off. But so that nobody misses anything, I'm just gonna, as I said, give it until 8:35 to see who else joins and we'll get into it. So with that said, Amanda, how was your day? Tell me what's happening in Jamaica.
Boy. one whole lot of things are going on Jamaica. Can't tell you
Okay.
no. To hold it
Let's
no,
start
we
with the
can't really
weather.
talk about it. No. The weather here in
Yeah.
Westmoreland is going well. We have a little rain yesterday, but no rain today, which is good. So other
Okay.
from that, the weather is good.
All right. Nice. And the food? What you had to eat today?
Oh, I had fish and rice. I just prepared
Oh,
something.
nice.
Yeah, I just prepared something for my niece because I didn't really want anything to eat, so I just
Mhm.
did something for her.
Okay. I haven't eaten yet since morning. Well, I ate from morning. I ate porridge and pretty much water, but I haven't sat down and had a proper meal. So after the stream, I'll definitely be doing that. Cause I love my food. But the good thing is I don't feel hungry. The only thing is sometimes when I don't eat right away, I'll probably get a headache. That hasn't started, but I kind of feel it coming on. But I'm gonna get some food soon.
Yeah, that happened to
So,
me. That happened to me a
yeah.
lot. So with the headache.
Mm-hmm. So sometimes that's the only thing. I don't feel hungry sometimes, but need to eat the food. So we have 2 more minutes. So let's ask you to start off. What do you think about the topic?
Um, wait there, you have to come back one again.
Oh, I
Come
said,
back to me again.
I pretty much just asked what you think about the topic, as in, um, what do you value in relationship? Like, what's the first thing that really comes to your mind?
Well, really, the first thing that comes to mind when I hear relationship is basically, loyalty, the person being loyal to you and all of that. So
Yeah.
that is the first thing I think about.
Okay. Good. So, the same thing for me too. And the reason why I said relationships, and I'm not saying long-term relationship or being specific about anything, because I want us to talk about relationships on a whole, whether it be family, a partner, friendship, because whatever we value, all of these little things are gonna be important. For any relationship to work, there has to be some form of mutual respect, honesty, all that kind of stuff, and we're gonna get into it. So it's 8:34. I'm just gonna do a roll call again. I have 5 persons with me. I know Noella commented earlier. Amanda is present on with me. Welcome, Nicoda. Kingdom Closet is here. And Nicoda, I've added a pin in the comment section. You can join me like how Amanda is. Amanda is on voice. You have the capability to join me on video or voice, whichever you guys' preference is. But we're gonna start with the conversation. It's 8:35 now, and we're gonna get into it. Maybe for 30 minutes, maybe we won't go for an hour, depending on how things go. But we're gonna start off the conversation. And guys, I ask that as much as possible, put your comments in so that we can make this as best as possible. We can learn from each other. So to start with that, I read something recently, and I'm gonna start off with an example. Uh, a passenger is okay, just a second. So Kingdom Closet says unable to, just listening in a little. While soon have to run. Appreciate that, Nicoda. Thank you so much for joining. Now, relationships. And the topic for today is, what do you value in relationships? So I'm asking the question to you, I'm asking the question to myself, and we're gonna talk about it. So to start, a relationship has to have key or core ingredients or values for it to really work. And I'm going to start with this example. For example, if you set out to go on a train to New York, and you go on the train thinking you're going to New York, but somehow when you get to the final stop, you're actually in Connecticut. You get to Connecticut and you're gonna feel disappointed, right? Because your intent is to go to New York. So the same is with a relationship. Two people in a relationship, whether it be a wife or husband situation, whether it be friends, whether it's family relationships with your parents, siblings, whatever the case is, there has to be some core values that make that relationship work. Now, we'll start off with the whole um partnership thing. A wife and a husband, a boyfriend or a girlfriend, whatever you want to call it. Same way like how the train and the passenger has to be going in the same direction. Both parties, male and female, have to be going in the same direction. They have to have the same value, core values that is, and they have to want to be going in the same direction for it to work. So, what do you value in relationships? And I'm going to highlight maybe 5 to 7 things that people generally um, value or are the core. And one of the first things I'll say is communication. This is a big one. And Amanda, I don't know if you can agree with me and others that women tend to say to men a lot that communication is important for them, and sometimes men don't communicate as much. Would you agree, Amanda?
I would agree. At one point at work, we were having that discussion that, it's just communication. They don't communicate like we do. So you'll
Yes.
have persons like, for example, they don't show their emotion. They're not emotional like we are. And so if they really show their emotion and then hear people say, all right, you're too soft or something like that. So yeah, they don't
Yeah.
really communicate a lot like we do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and sometimes it's very rare that you find men who are great at communicating or put it at something that is very important. They tend to sometimes just go with the flow, do what they have to do. But as women, we're more peculiar or picky when it comes to I ask you to do something and you don't get back to me on it. We're the ones who more will communicate and say, well, this is happening. So sometimes they don't like to give updates, but communication is very important for a relationship to work. Secondly, I would highlight honesty is important, which is linked to trust. Um, but honesty, if you are with somebody and you cannot trust what they tell you, that is very critical. How is a relationship gonna work when you can't trust what the person is saying to you? That's difficult. And if that doesn't happen, it can create a lot of different things. And men will say women are nagging or will say we're annoying because of that very same thing. So if you're in a relationship with somebody and they don't communicate, we're not asking as women that you always tell us about your whereabouts and all of that kind of stuff. But if you don't communicate, we don't know. So if every time you get up and you just leave the house or you're about your business and there's no accountability, you say nothing, you don't do anything, that can lead to a breakdown of trust. Anybody agrees with me? Leave it in the comments. Let me know. Um, so trust is very important. And I think it goes in hand with communication and honesty. Because if I cannot trust what you're saying to me, then it's gonna cause a big problem. I'm going to always be wondering what's happening with you when you say you're doing something and it's not that what you're doing, it's gonna create an issue and a problem. So I highlighted communication, trust, honesty, Amanda, earlier you said loyalty is very important. It's something that is key. Can you expound a little bit more on that as to why you think loyalty is such a big thing or one of the core values that you feel a relationship should have?
All right. So for one, whether the person is like your common law partner, whether it's a friendship or something like that, you have to be
Mm-hmm.
loyal to the person. You understand? You cannot have a relationship and not be loyal. So
Yeah.
that will cause problem. You understand? Because you're in a relationship, you're not being loyal. Then you have arguments coming up and all of that. So yeah, that is really important in a relationship, whether common law, friendship with your family or whatever. It is important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like have you ever had a close friendship even with someone and somebody goes to them and say something about you to them, but the person keeps the information they didn't tell you because they somehow say or feel if they told you, then you may have created a situation. Um, do you feel like that person is disloyal?
Well, the fact that they are talking behind your back with other persons,
Mm-hmm.
to even bring that to you. For example, if they say, all right, whatever, they come to you and that, say, so and so I talk about you and all of that. Why the person
Mm-hmm.
table around you just to talk about me then? You understand me?
Yeah.
So yeah, like that is going to create a problem then. Because you're so comfortable around that person is talking about me. That
Mm-hmm.
means they always been doing it. So
Yeah, and if if it is that the person comes to you, yes, the person comes to you and is saying something about me, but the relationship I have with you, I deem is stronger. So I feel that you should at least be able to say to me, such and such came to me and they're saying whatever, but I either shut it down or I didn't entertain it. But if you listen to what the person is saying, and even if you're not contributing in the sense of you're not backbiting or you're not doing something like that, I feel that being loyal to me, whether it's in a partnership, friendship, or whatever, I should have the right to know, or you should tell me. That's how I view loyalty. Because you and I have something core and deep, and somebody else is saying something to you about me. I feel you don't have to come back word to word and tell me what the person is saying. And you should trust me enough to know if you come to me and say something, I'm not gonna jump and go to the person, right? And go say something. But I think loyalty, we maybe all view it in different ways. But some of us maybe sometimes too don't even really understand that certain simple things, they can create mistrust. And in certain circumstances, we may feel people are disloyal to us. Because, as you said, Amanda, if a conversation was held and they contributed, whether or not, the fact that they kept the information and didn't say anything to you, it kind of makes you wonder, is this person really loyal to me? So, yeah. So for those who are joining, some persons still haven't commented, but I see people coming on and off. We're talking about what we value in relationships. And so far, we've looked at communication, we've mentioned trust and honesty, and that those two, from my view, they go hand in hand with the matter of communication. Amanda mentioned loyalty. Now, I'm going to touch a big one, number 5, religion. In a relationship, this is a core value. And I'm not here saying people have to be religious in everything that they're doing. But from the perspective, if I meet somebody who is a Muslim and I'm Christian, or if I meet somebody who is an atheist, I'm Christian. That can't work because we believe in two different things. Our core values are different. There are going to be things that I'm going to want to do in respect of my Christian faith that a person who is atheist is not going to understand. So, for me, in a relationship, religion plays a core part of it. It's one of the core values, one of the things that we look at. For me to date somebody, no matter how good they look, no matter how much money they may have or how established they are in life, if they don't believe in God, that's a no-no for me. It's just not going to work. It won't work. I don't see how it could. What do you think about religion, Amanda, and what role it actually could play in relationships?
Well, what I think I really agree with you because for one, I am Christian, and recently I was talking to someone and
Mm-hmm.
just like casual conversation, and I was there like talking. I was saying a few stuff, and they're saying like, "Oh, don't bother say anything because you'll talk about oh me a Christian or whatever." And I'm saying like that is who I am. That is me.
Yes.
Certain things
Mm-hmm.
I have to do as a Christian, and some things I cannot do as a Christian. So that is me as a Christian. You understand? So for me,
Yeah.
it is important, as you're saying, because
Mm-hmm.
it will cause like some uproar or something like that within the
Yeah.
relationship. So it is
It's a
important.
part of who you are. And for me, that's the next thing. If a person cannot respect what you believe in, then that creates a problem in itself. And naturally, when you believe in something, it comes out in the things that you do, how you operate day to day. And it's not as if you do something to be offensive to somebody else. That's not the case. However, take something as simple, and it might not be a Christian like thing. It might not have even anything to do with religion. But I grew up with values of before I eat, I pray. I say a prayer for my meal and I give thanks. There are persons who don't believe in that or would probably like every time you go eat, you go pray, pray, pray. Just eat your food. But that's a part of me. It's something I grew up with. It's something I value. It's something that I like doing. The lights went out on me. It's something I like doing. So it's something that is critical and something that is important. And I don't see how I would be with somebody who cannot simply appreciate some of the simple core things that I would do in operating in my day-to-day life. So religion is a important thing. It's a core value in relationships. And not only that, when you think about the fact that if you enter a relationship with somebody and you were to get to the point where it leads to marriage and you have kids, if you believe in something else and I believe in something, we're going to have to make a decision about how we're going to raise our children, what values we're going to instill in them. And if you believe something completely different from I, it's going to create an issue because I might want to, okay, for example, take this. If I meet somebody who is Seventh-day Adventist and I go to church on Sundays, that is something that is gonna be difficult. Because if a relationship could even possibly work, then an agreement has to be made. Are we gonna raise our kids under the Seventh-day Adventist faith, or just as a regular Christian where you go to church on Sundays? Because we know that Adventists they practice certain things before the Sabbath day. Christians don't really do, sorry, persons who worship on a Sunday don't really do that. So that would have some effect and impact on how you operate day-to-day life and how you would rear your kids. So religion, I feel, is one of those big ones. It's a critical thing that's there that you have to really think about when it comes to relationships. Um, One other thing that comes to mind is just the whole outlook on life. I believe that you need to have somebody that has a similar outlook as you do, because if you want your life to go into a certain direction and the other person is nonchalant, they are not the type of person that pushes themselves, so to speak, they're not a go-getter. They're more relaxed, easy going, easy flow. If something happens, it happens. If it don't happen, it don't happen. They don't have set goals, objectives in life, and outlook, certain things that they want to achieve and accomplish that can have a very big impact, sorry, on a relationship. So I need somebody who matches my energy. So I'm constantly seeking out things that I can do to better myself, be better. I could not be with somebody who is just easy. They don't have objectives. They don't know what they want to go in life. They're just like, I just do a job, I get paid, I do whatever I have to do, and that is it. It doesn't matter. Um, I don't need to have certain goals. I don't need to set certain things for myself. Time can pass. I'm just living life. For me, I would not be in a relationship with a person who is that easygoing and don't have a clear direction, sorry, as to what they want for their life, because mm-mm, that not gonna match my energy. I have to have somebody who is going after what they want. Yes, they want to enjoy life, have a full life, do things, but I need that positive energy around me. I need that type of person who is going to do everything that they can to go after the things and the goals that they have in life. So matching my energy with somebody's energy. So pretty much I'm just saying I need somebody who thinks about life positively, their outlook on life. So Amanda, I'm gonna ask a question and tell me something. How would you deal with a person of the opposite sex who values the physical more than, I would say, the mental, like the person's outlook on life, um a person's values, they're all about the physical attributes. So a guy meets you and all he's telling you is, oh, you're sexy, I like your body, I like everything about you, but he doesn't say anything about your mental state or your outlook on life, your mind, your intellect. What would you do about that, or how would you approach a situation like that?
Well, first of all, that would be like a big no, no, because if something changes, if I get sick, when I'm gonna look the same way as before, then
Yeah.
I'm gonna get up and leave because oh, I'm in a nice and sexy like before and all of that and him can't bother because you understand that what that the body that he used to see before I got
Mm-hmm.
sick, I'm not gonna see that anymore. So I'm gonna leave. So that would be like a
Yeah.
big no no from the get go, like no.
From the get-go. So it's almost like a red flag. You see that the things that he thinks are not aligned with you. So you wouldn't even give it the time of day, right?
No.
Yeah, makes sense because it's a red flag, and as you said, and it goes back to the fact that you don't know if the person would even remain loyal or you'd be able to trust them. Because if everything is always about the physical, you look good, but nothing is ever spoken about your mental state to say, you know what, I like your outlook on life, you're always positive. I like that you seem to always, be going after things you want to achieve. And I think as women, we need to pay more keen attention to that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So for the partnership thing, I would say for persons or recommend to people whatever your core values are, whatever you value in a relationship, ensure that whoever you meet, whoever you're going to talk to, these things align with them as well. So if from the get go you don't find that whatever the person is saying to you, it doesn't add up, you don't have that gut feeling or that sense that you can trust the person, what they say is never what they do. So the mouth talk, what they talk about doesn't align with the actions. Pay careful attention to that and never compromise the things that you want for somebody else. So don't make somebody else warm, so to speak, and you're out in the cold, so to speak. And don't just jump in a relationship or be in a relationship just because you want to be in a relationship to tell your friends, oh, I have a nice, handsome boyfriend, or I have a nice, beautiful girlfriend. Relationships are more than that, it's more than the physical. It takes a lot of work. And the 7 things so far, and I'm gonna say them again, that I've highlighted that I believe are core things that people should value in relationships. I mentioned communication. That's the first thing I mentioned. Communication is so vital to a relationship. It isn't funny. Communication, very important because communication helps with accountability. So, communication, first of all, trust, honesty, we mentioned loyalty, we mentioned religion. That's 5. Did I miss any, Amanda? So I've had 5 so far. And then I was talking about the fact of, and it's somewhat what we refer to as compatibility. So compatibility in terms of, hi Kanisha, welcome. Kanisha says, good points. And Kanisha, we'd appreciate if you post comments in respect of what you actually value as well. And let us know. And if you want to join the conversation on audio, feel free to do that. There's a pin in the comment section. You can click on that to join. But yes, guys, it is very critical that compatibility in terms of core values and all of that, they align. We need to have people that match our own energy, persons who are going after something in life. They're not just relaxed, they know what they're about. So those things are very vital and very critical. So I highlighted really five things really. I thought I had up to 7, but again, I said religion, trust, honesty, communication, compatibility. Okay, and I'm going to finalize with this one that just came up, openness. And when I say openness, I mean openness in the sense that you should be able to speak to your partner freely without fear of whether it be rejection, without fear of feeling as if you're going to be judged. So there should be no judgment. So openness is something that is very critical in a relationship. Amanda, are you still with me?
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah. So what do you think about openness in a relationship?
So being open, that would be like really important because basically it's just you being yourself. So as you said,
Mm-hmm.
not be afraid, like should not be afraid to say certain things to your partner without them like thinking something of you. So you should be able to be
Yeah.
yourself then. So yeah, so basically just be yourself, be you then. Because if they can't accept you for you, then what is the, it'll make no sense you're in that relationship then. So just be
That's very
yourself,
true.
be you.
Mm-hmm. Very, very critical. And for me, I have this thing about me where if I feel like I cannot say how I feel, I'm not comfortable. It means I'm not comfortable with you. If I have to be second guessing if I can actually say something to you and wonder if you're going to think about it in a wrong way or it going to hurt your feelings, I'm not saying that you're not supposed to use um you're not supposed to be diplomatic in certain things that you do, but when you're talking about a life partner, somebody you're in a relationship with, you should be able to just freely go and communicate and say, you did this and this is how I feel about it, or I don't like when you do this. Whatever in the relationship isn't working, you should be able to just freely say it without the person getting upset or the person feeling as if you're criticizing them. Because I think sometimes people take simple things to be something that is critical when all you're doing is trying to openly communicate that this thing that you do doesn't work, or this thing that you do, it affects me in a certain way. So openness, I feel, is very critical. So I'm gonna leave those points there, those six. I'm not gonna add any more, but I feel those are very critical. Um, and I was asking Kenisha earlier. I don't know if she dropped off or anybody else who is still with me and Amanda, to just make a note in the comment section of the core values that you appreciate in a relationship. If it's one of the points that I just said, repeat it in the comments. Or if it is something I haven't mentioned, then go ahead and do so. Now, I'm just gonna touch on two last things and then we're gonna wrap up the live. We're already on for 37 minutes and I'm not seeing people making comments. I've seen the numbers going up and down. So I'm not still sure, apart from Amanda, who is still with me. But if you're still with me, go ahead and put an emoji in the comment section or make a comment, or go ahead as well and put what you value in a relationship. If there is any that I didn't mention or highlight, we are here to learn from each other and talk about it. So if there's a value that you appreciate or you see that it's important in a relationship for you, go ahead and leave that in the comment section. So mostly what I've spoken about is in relationship to a partnership, and it's applicable to a friendship, because if you have a friend and they're not trustworthy or they're not loyal, you can't even be open to them and speak to them, it can't work. I've been in situations where I've had friendships that are solid, and when I say solid, I mean solid, but things happen, things change. We live in two different parts of the world, or in the same country but in two different parishes, and things happen. And I've had friends where I've gone to already and said, I don't feel the connection anymore. I don't feel like our friendship is what it used to be, and we have to make a decision. I think with any relationship, when you find it's not as it normally is, it's something you have to talk about. And I've had situations where I've said to friends, I don't feel like our friendship is what it used to be, and something has to be done. And I've asked the critical question already. Should we even still continue a relationship? Meaning a friendship. Do we still want to be friends? And we spoke about it and decided what we want to do going forward. Amanda, have you ever had any situation like that, whether it be a friend or maybe even a family member that you were really close to, but you realize that the direction that they're going in, the things that they're doing don't align with what you want for your life? and you've had to have that conversation, whether it's difficult or whether it was easy. Have you ever come across any situation like that before?
No, I have not. I've had like friendship. It was just like a friendship from high school. Me and the person still
Hmm.
talk, but we're not really that close anymore. We used to like talk every day. We
Yeah,
used to like everything we used to even plan on like because she went overseas, so we even plan like okay when you come back we're going to go out, but gradually everything just faded away. We still talk now and then,
yeah,
but the relationship isn't that strong anymore.
yeah. But at the same time, too, you know that you have relationships where you're in two different parts of the world, but even if you don't talk to that friend or that family member every single day or every week, when you connect, it's like almost as if nothing went missing, right?
Yeah, it's actually the same thing with my sister. I mean, we used to
Mm-hmm.
talk like a lot, and then she came like the other day, and it
Mm-hmm.
was, it was so good. Like I would just consider her as my best friend then, my sister,
Yeah.
and we talk every day, every little thing I told her, and then she came and it was like, yeah,
Wow.
the connection is still there, even like even though we're not really
Yeah.
on the phone talking, she's like in person, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, and it happens because I'm in Canada and I have really great friends in Jamaica that I don't get to talk to every day. We have busy lives, but you see, when I connect with them, it's almost as if nothing happened. We just pick up back. And even as you mentioned, sister, my sister just joined. Welcome, Nadia. And she has commented. So I'm going to show her comment on screen. And Nadia is saying for core values, being able to appreciate each other and a willingness to change. That's very important. Adjust attitudes to improve the relationship. So thanks, Nadia, for making note of that. So she's saying that one of the things that's important to her is appreciation. And sometimes when we're in a relationship, a lot of times in the initial stage, when we meet each other, we tell each other the nice things. We compliment. You look nice today. I like your outfit. I like the way you did your hair. Or it's your birthday. It might not even be your birthday. It might not be a special occasion, but the person takes time out to maybe take you out, bring you to dinner. Just maybe they were in a store on the road and they just saw something and thought of you and brought you home something, whatever the case is. And a lot of times in relationships, whether it be a partnership, whether it be friendship, appreciation sometimes dips. After a while, I feel, especially in partnerships, when you get to know me and I get to know you and we get a bit relaxed, sometimes we stop complimenting each other. We stop appreciating the little things we do for each other, and that's something. And I thank Nadia so much for making that comment, because appreciation, when you think about it, it's very critical. We're human beings. We're emotional, and we need to be reminded. Reminders are very important. And it's not anything that has to cost anything. It can be simple. You might wake up and you make a cup of tea for your husband, wife, boyfriend, whatever it is, partner, and you simply go ahead and bring them a cup of tea, coffee, whatever it is. So appreciation is very critical, and persons need to remind their partners, and not only their partners. If you have a friend, call them up, talk to them whenever you can. If they do something for you, be appreciative of it. Even when they can't, be reminded of the times that they did something for you and be appreciative of it. And one other thing I will say, Nadia also said, willingness to adjust attitudes to improve a relationship. Hmm. You see this attitude thing? Attitudes. A lot of us have attitudes for true. And we have to realize when we're in a relationship, and I don't think a lot of people get this, it's not just about you, it's about us. So it can't be that you just want to do this and it doesn't matter how it affects the other person, or you want to do that and you don't care how it affects the other person. Both persons have to adjust at times. And attitudes turn, or what would I want to say? Attitudes are somewhat connected and linked to our habits. Some of us have some innate habits, and some are hard to get rid of. But adjustments are necessary. If you want to be in a relationship and you want to be in a successful relationship too, attitude adjustments, habits adjustments are necessary. So thank you so much, Nadia, for contributing to that. So I'm going to round things up. It's 46 minutes, and I want to say thank you for everybody who joined. This week's live is not as interactive as last week. Last week I had more persons joining, and the comment section was up and down. And I think maybe because we were playing a game, but nevertheless, thank you everyone who joined this evening. Noella commented, Kenisha came in, Nicoda, Nadia, Amanda, thank you so much for being a supporter as always. Can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And for everybody who joins the live, this is the last word I'm going to say to you. Whether it is that you're in a relationship with somebody, be it a life partner, whether it's friendship, whether it's family, you have to do things to ensure the relationship is maintained. A relationship cannot work with just one person doing some things and the other not doing. So I have one hand here and I have another here. And if this hand is coming to clap and the next hand's not meeting it, it won't work. So in Jamaica, we have this thing that we say one hand can't clap, two hands. Two hands have to come together to clap. So in a relationship, for it to be successful, for it to be maintained, I mentioned some core values of communication, trust, honesty, loyalty, openness. And Nadia mentioned appreciation. And those are very critical things that are essential to a relationship. There might be others that I didn't mention. And for me, I will leave you with saying, and I'll ask Amanda hers, if she could choose from the six, what would be the top three for her? For me, communication, honesty, boy, it's a tie. Openness and loyalty is a tie for me. Those are my big three that I would say that are necessary for me when it comes to a relationship. And whether it's a partner, whether it's a friend, or whether it's a family member, those are all core for me because I'm a family person. And when it comes to family, I do anything for my family pretty much. And if I'm doing something that's wrong, I appreciate if they can come to me openly and say something. And whether it be your mother, your brother, your sister, whatever it is in terms of a family relationship, if they don't communicate with you, the relationship won't last. Especially if you're in two different worlds, meaning you're in one country, they're in another. Communication is two parts. So you might be sending messages They might be sending messages, you don't respond, they don't respond. No. There has to be that link where there is back and forth communication for it to work. And those things for me are really critical and essential. And openness is very important, and honesty. And I'll give an example. The other day, I was talking to my mom, and I said something to my mom, and after I really didn't feel good within myself that maybe the tone I used with her was too strong, and I actually called and apologized. And she's my mom. And whether it be a relationship or a friendship, if I feel like I spoke to you a certain way or I said something to you a certain way and it doesn't settle with me, then I'm gonna come to you and say, you know what? I thought about this and I really didn't like how I spoke to you. And I feel it is a two-way street. So my mom could have come to me too and said, Colleen, why did you say what you say the way you said? And I would have been open to hear her just the same. So those are my three. Amanda, I'm gonna close off with you. If from the six that we spoke about, you could choose three, what would be the core values that you'd have to say, yes, this has to be a part of my relationship?
Well, I would just choose the three of the ones that you chose: openness, honesty, and communication, because those three are really important, as you were saying. So I will choose those three.
Okay. And it doesn't mean that that's the only thing we want, but those like are at the top of the list because for me they flow into each other. And yeah. So thanks again to everybody who joined. Um ensure that whatever relationships you have with your partner, your friends, family, that you are taking care of those relationships, you are maintaining them. Relationships have to be maintained. They have to be maintained and they're critical. If you are starting out in a relationship and the core values don't align, don't even bother going there. Don't force it, don't push it. There are many fishes in the sea, as we would say in Jamaica. Somebody will come along, your time will come along, and it will work out for you at some point in time. Guys, remember your dreams are possible. And for everybody who watches this live to the end, and I'll post on social media, next week's live, we are going to have a very interesting session. I have somebody who is a Spanish teacher who will be joining us, and we will be doing some lessons in basic Spanish. So share that with your family and friends. Ask them to come and join next week. Next week, I will start at 7 p.m. All being well, if there is any issues with that, I will make a post early to say the new time. But 7 p.m. next week, I will have a guest with me. We will be talking about, Spanish as a second language, how integral it is to learn a second language. And we'll be doing some basic lessons, and we will be doing like a quiz at the end, and the person who does the best based on what my guest will be able to share will win a prize. I'm not going to tell what the prize is, but share with your family and friends and family. We're building a community, sorry, on my channel. I'm doing the live stream to connect with more persons. If you're a small YouTuber as well, Queen Nash, thanks for joining. Understand you're late, but you can rewatch. I'm pretty much just saying my final words. But next week at 7 p.m., we will be talking about Spanish and learning some basic Spanish. So tell your friends, family members, everybody to join. And we're going to have a good live session next week, all being well. So, guys, remember your dreams are possible. Amanda, thanks again for joining. And I hope each week the lives will get better and better. So, with that all being said, thanks to everyone who joined. Remember, your dreams are possible. Have a lovely weekend. Take care of yourself. Do something nice for yourself and be kind to someone. Amanda, darling, take care and I will see you soon.
Okay, bye.
All right. Bye.